Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another amazing episode of Life with Moves. I'm so happy to talk to you. I haven't made a video in about 2 weeks because life has been lifing. There's been multiple things going on, not feeling too well, but I'm determined this year to always make content, no matter how I guess like how much or how tight it is. I want to always make content so that I can touch lives. Like I said, this is not just a YouTube channel for me. This is a ministry, and even if it's one person that is blessed, I'm just happy to be, a part of that. And also, I just believe that Christian content creators need to constantly pump out content, because the other side, you're pumping out content regularly, feeding your timeline, right? So we want to do our part as well. So thank you so much for subscribing, for all the love, all the support. I appreciate you guys always. So let's get right into it. So today we're going to be talking about dealing with friendship hurts. And I want to talk about this because this is something that everyone has gone through at some point or the other, regardless of your age, right? Like that, there's this saying that says 20 friends cannot play together for 20 years. Is it true? Yeah, to an extent, yes. So I want us to just delve into it and kind of see, talk about it and see how we can actually deal with friendship hurts. Because I believe that friendships are an integral part of everyone's life, and no man is an island, right? And sometimes you build like lovely relationships with people that they literally feel like family, right? And all of a sudden you guys grow apart, and it's like, oh, we used to do everything together, we used to play together, we used to sing together, eat together, laugh together, we will be on the phone for hours, and all of a sudden we can't even like have like a conversation. We can't talk about things. We can't even hold a conversation because we've grown apart, or we moved to different locations, and we're not just able to keep in touch. Multiple things happen, or this person that I really cared about hurt my feelings. They did something that obviously I couldn't forgive, and we just like grew apart, or like whatever they did hurt me so much that it was not resolvable, and it was not redeemable. So we're going to be talking about how to deal with friendship hurts, like I said. So the first thing I'm going to say is, when you get into a situation where you and a friend, I'm going to talk about people who are close to you. So I'm not talking about acquaintances, people who like you're acquaintance to rather, that you see and say hi, hello, you can have like surface level conversations. Now I'm talking about like people who are close, or like you're like at some point in your life where like a core integral part of your life that you always used to speak with and had just developed a like almost like an unbreakable bond with. Now the first thing you need to do is acceptance, right? I feel like sometimes when we go through friendship hurts, for me especially, I've gone through maybe a few. It's always very hard to accept that the friendship has come to an end, right? Because you feel like, oh, like you've been friends with this person for so long, you've invested so much, they understand you, you've built such a great bond rather, that you don't understand how you're going to even start living your life without them. Living your life like, oh, maybe something happens. Usually you call this person, I'm like, oh, hey, this what happened, or you guys will talk all the time. And then just how do I accept that this person is no longer gonna be a part of me? But the truth is, you have to accept it. You have to come to terms with the fact that this friendship lasted and it was beautiful. Yes, it had its ups and downs, but now you have come to the end of it, and there is nothing you can do about it, right? Because if you don't accept it, what's going to happen is that you're going to keep putting yourself in a position for people who got hurt in friendships, or who were not treated rightly. You're going to put yourself in a position where you constantly want to go back, because you feel like it's almost like a relationship where like, oh, where do I start from? How do I start making new friends? So you keep putting yourself in a place where you continually be abused, or continually not be treated like you should, right? So number one, accept it. Number two, evaluate what went wrong in the friendship, so that you can learn about it and be better, right? I know a lot of us say, oh, maybe something happened and then it was just very ridiculous, we had a fight, but it was her fault. She was always taking advantage of me. Oh, she was always I was always giving and I never got anything in return, and then she was just a bad person. I genuinely feel like sometimes, or most times, not sometimes, most times, there's always some form of contribution that we have to play when things like that happen, right? I'm not saying that it's 100% your fault, but think about it. For instance, if you were being abused, like emotionally, or you felt like you were giving too much, did you ever communicate to that person that I feel like I'm giving too much and I'm not getting anything in return. Evaluate, like, what could I have done better? Should I have communicated better? Was I always holding on to grudges and then, not doing anything about it until it became, so big that we couldn't even unravel where the problem started from? Was I actually available? For some people, you're not the one that actually, you're the one who hurt the other person. You have to ask yourself, was I available, or was I treating this person right? Was I constantly able to give to them as much as they were giving to me? So evaluation is necessary, like I said, to understand yourself and know how to be better for the next next person that you're going to be friends with, right? The third thing is heal, so that you don't project the trauma that you've carried from that relationship into possible relationships in the future. Because I believe that God doesn't want us to be an island. So even if you've had a friendship hurt, I believe that's not the end of the world. I believe that God can still send people your way who will be good friends, who, like, you would create, like, literally like a bond with, hopefully forever, right? So don't carry that hurt, because I know I've seen people who, are so guarded. Like, you meet somebody and then they're so guarded, they don't want to be vulnerable, they don't want to even, like, before you say one thing, they're just like, who do you think you are? Don't speak to me like that. Or they have anger issues, or they feel like they constantly need to defend themselves because in the past they've been hurt by people. Let's say they were always taken advantage of, or they were always spoken to, like, in a way that put them under in derogatory ways, right? And because of that, they feel like everyone out there is there to attack them. What happens is, now when you meet somebody who you can potentially have a good friendship with, you're carrying that trauma, and like, what trauma does is that it literally doesn't give a chance for something to blossom, because you're constantly just on the defense, your wall is up, and you wouldn't even be able to get to know other people, right? The fact that one person hurt you doesn't mean every single person you meet will hurt you. Number 4 is that you have to truly forgive and let go of the hurt, because some of us go around carrying this grudge, and then you're thinking, oh my God, like, this person hurt me so much, I really hate them, I can never forgive them. And let me let you know that most of the time when people hurt you, they move on with their lives, they go on doing their own thing, but then you're there carrying this hurt in your heart. Like, you're not, even when you see them, you don't want to speak to them. You're like, yeah, I'm done. Like, you block them on all social media. Like, sometimes, don't get me wrong, it's good to block people, because some people don't know boundaries, or some people, like, just in the case where, use your discretion, right? Speak, you have to block people, block them. But I'm saying, like, when you do it out of a malicious place, like, oh, I don't want you to know anything that's going on in my life, that's it, we're done. And then you don't truly forgive, like, you carry this hurt in your heart, and it's just so hard for you to actually even, like, make other friendships, because, like, you're full of hurt, you're full of sadness, you're full of bitterness, and the person is living their life. So make sure you find a way to truly forgive. I know it's really hard, but one of the things that I would suggest is prayer, right? Pray for the person. And I'm not saying let the person into your life. You don't even have to speak to them, right? Just make sure in your hearts you wish them well, and that whatever they're doing in their lives, wherever they are, that everything goes well for them, and that if you were in a situation where you had to help them, you would do that willingly. You would not say, oh, because, or you did this to me, no, I'd rather leave you to die. No, you have to get to the point where you can say, truly in my heart, I've let this person go. I pray that God brings all the good things, in life to them. I pray that they succeed. I pray that nothing bad happens to them. You have to get to the point where you truly, in your heart, know that you are forgiven. That doesn't mean that you will forget, because obviously we don't have a amnesia. Is it amnesia? Or the one that where you don't remember things, right? No, it means that even if you remember, you don't hold it against them. But that doesn't mean you're not setting the boundaries, because sometimes you just have to let people go, even if you're not holding it against them, right? Now, that being said, what do you do, to move on? The first thing I'd say is, when you're ready to move on, open your heart to other godly friendships, because I genuinely feel there are people out there, and I thank God for the friends that I have. I don't really have a lot of friends. I don't have a big circle, but the friends I have are amazing. Now, no friendship is perfect, right? Everyone has their flaws, but I thank God for, godly and healthy relationships or friendships where you can actually have, like, communicate, where you can say, oh, this is, even when, like, things are not, like, going really well with the friendship, you can communicate and be like, oh, I don't like that you did this, and the person can be like, oh, this is what happened, I didn't mean it that way. So open your heart to people, because I believe that there are godly friendships that you can build out there. Number 2, understand that friendships are in phases. This is something that I took a while to understand, right? Because sometimes some people come into your life for seasons, right? So let me give an example. Let's say you're in a season where you're looking for maybe like a job, for instance, right? And then you find somebody who is able to mentor you through the process. And, the person is there as someone who like is a mentor, not necessarily a friend, right? And so what happens when you don't understand the phases of friendship, or you don't understand the purpose of friendships, is that you start having unrealistic expectations. So you're like, oh, this person didn't call me, but well, maybe the person was just there to just help you, assist you in like a part of your life. Not every single person can be like close knit with you. You can't be having like 20 best friends or 20 close friends. No, it doesn't work that way, right? Sometimes people come into your life for a season, God sends them to help you, and after that they leave. It's not like you lose touch, but then the friendship wouldn't be the same, because the purpose for which God has called them into your life has been fulfilled. Now, don't get me wrong, some friends do last forever, but it's not going to be like that for most cases, right? Because again, like I said, you can't have 20 best friends. Number 3 is that you have to find people that like you as a person. This is very important, right? Because to build friendships, you have to find common goals, moral values. For believers, you have to find believers who are not just believers with mouths, believers who actually genuinely love God, want to build a relationship with Him, want to study the Word, want to pray, because they can encourage you as well to do those things, right? And also like people who are smart, people who are, responsible, people who know how to have fun, playful, right? So it just depends on what you as a person vibe with, right? Because okay, let's even say outside of spirituality, what are the other things you like to do, right? So find people that like you, so that you're not in a situation whereby you like somebody or you are someone's friend, right? Sorry, somebody is your friend, but you are not their friend, if you know what I mean, right? So find somebody who likes you, because it just makes the friendship beautiful, right? Number 4, the third thing I'd say is, find people, or the fourth thing rather, is find people who are content with their lives. This is so important. And I learned this from my friend, Ore. She was saying, because when people are content with their lives, they will be able to genuinely celebrate your wins as you celebrate theirs. There would not be any form of competition. Oh, you got this hair, you got this bag, you got this shoe, or I have to get it now. Oh, this girl just got a promotion, so I need to get it now. There won't be that toxic jealousy. No, you have people who love and appreciate themselves, who are content in themselves, who are thankful for where they are, and can be happy for you when things, are not going when things are going well, and can also like be sad with you when things are not going so well, because life is full of ups and downs. You don't want people who are constantly, I've met people like that. They constantly want to compete with you. When things are going well, that's when they are just, you see that, oh, when you have to celebrate something, all of a sudden they're carrying face, or they are not available, or there's just like an attitude around it and stuff, right? You don't want that, trust me. You want people who are content with themselves. So like I said, so that they're able to celebrate your wins, and you're able to celebrate their wins in peace and joy, like, a healthy relationship. And finally, I'm going to say, be intentional in investing in your friendships. This is important, right? For every friendship to succeed, there has to be a lot of effort going into it, right? You can't just be doing random stuff like, oh, okay, like you have to find, okay, like how much time can I actually create my schedule to speak to this person, text them, know how they're doing, be there for them, be the shoulder they can cry on if they need stuff. Am I able to sacrifice for them? You can't just be constantly in your comfort zone. No, you actually have to be willing to sacrifice your time, sacrifice your resources, sacrifice yourself for a friendship. To have friendships that last, you must be extremely intentional about them. You must be intentional about them, and just genuinely care about them, genuinely love them, genuinely be there for them. So that's pretty much everything. I just really hope and pray for anyone who's feeling lonely, who feels like, I don't have any friends. I pray that God sends people your way. And I pray, most importantly, that God gives you the wisdom to be able to handle the friendship. Because it's one thing to pray for good friends, and it's another thing to be able to handle it so that, the friendship does not end up in a place of dabaru. All right, thank you guys for staying to the end of the video. I hope you've learned one or two things. Please like, share, comment. Make sure you comment on my videos. If you feel like there's something that you want to contribute, comment, because this really helps my YouTube algorithm. And also, like, make sure you like and share. This would make YouTube feel like my video wants to be heard, and they'll share it with more people, right? So please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you for your love and support. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.